So this tip is for when you are pinning your pattern pieces to your fabric. Make sure you place your pins facing the same direction along each side of your pattern piece. Then, when you're ready to remove your pins, start from the bottom and pull each pin out by the pin head. This will ensure that when you are removing your pins, you will not stab yourself on the pin behind, which you can often do if the pins have just been placed randomly in all directions, such as the pin head here and then the tip of the pin there. When removing this bottom pin, it would be very easy to stab yourself. Next, always make sure that you place your pins at a 90-degree angle to your seam. Have the pin head on the left hand side and your pin dish just off to the left. Then as you sew, you can easily pull out the pin and just pop it in the dish. Do not sew over your pins using this method because your needle can still hit the pin, which will break your needle and bend the pin, but you can wait until the pin is just under the presser foot before removing. If the pin head was on the right hand side, removal would be restricted by the side of your machine. Your pin dish would need to be through the back or you would need to cross your arm. Whereas if you placed your pin dish just in front of you, it would be very, very easy to knock your pin dish onto the floor, which I have done many times. This final tip is for when you are sewing two seams together and you want them to line up perfectly, such as when you are sewing the bodice to a skirt. Insert a pin through the centre of the seams at the seam allowance. So if you are sewing the two pieces together with a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, this is where you want to insert your pin. Make sure that the pin goes through the centre of the seam of your underneath piece of fabric as well. You might need a few attempts to get it dead in the centre, but persevere with this because it will really make a difference as to how well your seams will line up. Make sure that the pin also goes through the centre of the seam on the right side of the fabric as well. Now that the pin is securing the two pieces of fabric together in the centre of the seams, I'm going to go ahead and sew these together at a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. So I've lined up the edge of my fabric with my 1.5 centimetre marker on my sewing machine, and I'm now going to sew the two pieces together. Don't forget to remove your pin as we mentioned in tip 2. You will now have a perfectly lined up seam, as you can see here.